Hello everyone, welcome back to another reaction video. I hope you all enjoyed your weekend. I definitely needed that time to kind of reset and I'm glad I did that. So we are back with another reaction video. I want to first thank all of the new subscribers. Thank you all for showing your support by liking the videos, commenting, and sharing the videos as well. So we're going to change it up a little bit here. I came across a story that I was very fascinated with. I don't know if you all have heard about this story, but it's a young lady who is known as the CPS girl. Her actual name is Amora Lexx, and she basically a few months ago voluntarily gave up. I believe she had 5 children to CPS. So I was kind of seeing that she was kind of going viral, and I did not catch it when she was viral, but I've been seeing some of her videos kind of popping up in my newsfeed, and I wanted to kind of explore this story along with y'all. So without further ado, let's get into this.
Well, okay, so it's two things. So I'm trying to get them to the dad because I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm over it. I do everything by myself, and I've been doing it for years since I was 15. I'm literally 27. I'm about to be 28 this year. Still nothing. Like, they don't help. They don't send no Christmas cards, birthday gifts, presents. Literally not a damn thing. And as well, okay, my oldest son is 11, and my daughter's is about to be 3. So you mean to tell me out of 3 years and out of 11 years, y'all lazy ass still ain't come up yet? Okay, well, y'all take the kids, and I'm going to worry about me, focus on school, and get my shit together because, God, it's time for somebody else to, step up and do something. I'm tired, like, every time, like, time. I've been doing it by myself since I was 15. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm in 2 different colleges. I'm working. I'm overwhelmed. I'm done. I really am. I'm just done. I just want to learn. I just want to be able to focus on me, my school, my careers, my jobs. I just want to focus on me. I absolutely love and adore my kids. They're so beautiful and intelligent, but I don't want them.
So right out the gate, she says that, she has an 11-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter. And none of the fathers are involved. She has tried to reach out for help to the fathers, and they have not helped. She did say she was in school. I believe later on she will say she is working. But what really disturbed me is the fact that, she said that, they're beautiful, they're intelligent, but I don't want them. There was such a coldness and such a disconnect there that I just really felt that when she said it. And I'm just like, wow. Like, we're not talking about puppies. We're talking about your actual children. And you just outright just said without it didn't even feel like there was any emotion behind it. It was like she just straight out said, but I don't want them. Like that was hard to hear.
I've been trying literally for 3 months to give them to the dads. Literally nothing. Then you got one of the dads like, oh, what the? Yo, I kid you the fuck not. I told this man, it's time for you to step up and do something, like, So then he's like, oh, it sounds like, I literally told him, I said, I'm just trying to better myself. I said, my career is low key on the rise and shit. Gonna look and say, my kids, so you could go and chase your dreams because your dreams are starting to come true. Why would I want to sit there and let your dreams come true? Like, for one, that's the most hating ass shit somebody could ever say. Literally. Anybody know who Kendrell Eaton is? Or he go by Kike? That's who I'm talking about. Y'all, this one dumb bitch Akira on this live because dad. If I knew that's her baby dad was, bitch, I wouldn't. Hello, I would not have been talking to him because, bitch, you're mad that he's my baby dad. Okay, you can have him back. I never wanted to be my baby dad. I just stuck and I couldn't abort. So to help contact these goddamn dads so they can come and get kids because, like I said, I'm done. So
see, this right here is why when it comes to the conversation of abortion, it can be so triggering because when I listen to this lady right here say that, I just wanted to basically, have sex with this man. I wasn't trying to have a baby by him, but I couldn't get an abortion. I know people have certain viewpoints when it comes to this. And in my personal belief, I just truly believe that, life starts at conception. I have done the research. I've studied it from a scientific standpoint. And even from a spiritual standpoint, it just makes sense to me. And, when I hear people on here like Olivia, and her followers make fun of the fact that, it's almost like they use plan Bs as like you're just popping Skittles. It's no big deal. And it's just reckless behavior. At some point, as grown women, we have to be very responsible when it comes to how we choose to live our life. And when it comes to, when we are having sex, there should be a clear understanding of the possibilities that can happen if you are not protecting yourself and ensuring that those things do not happen, so you do not have to make these type of life altering decisions. And so when I heard her say this right here, it just really bothered me. Now, I will say it is sad that, she was trying to reach out to the fathers of her children, and they did not want to man up and take on the responsibility of, taking the children off her hands for a while. But again, it falls back on how women have to make sure that they are choosing the men wisely who they are, choosing to lay down with. Because anytime you make that decision to lay down with someone, you have to know that there is a possibility that you may end up having a child by that person. And so I see so many times where women are getting pregnant by men, and they just hate the fact that that was the choice that they made. And it's like, I mean, I just don't get why women bypass the vetting process when it comes to, like paying attention to these characters. Like, it can't just be all about, oh, well, they look good. No, you got to take time out to judge who these people are. Like, really vet these people, see what type of man they are. Are they responsible? Are they the type of man that would support you and your children? Or are they father material? Like, I think it's just so many different factors that women are overlooking. And this is what you end up seeing most times: a woman who ends up being single, trying to raise their children solo, and the father is nowhere in sight.
Oh, but if by 5 o'clock I cannot get the dads to man and help, I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to drop them off at the fire station. I've already contacted the fire station because I didn't know how the whole shit worked or whatever. Because I know you could drop off like newborn babies and shit and not get in trouble. Or I don't know if you get in trouble or not. I don't even give if I do get in trouble. I don't care. I'm done. So anyway, I acted it because I'm tired of doing myself. Like, literally, I got all the kids, literally 24/7. I got 24/7. I don't have nobody to be watching them. JFS keep my child care. The dads help. The grandmas is deadbeats. I can't wait to see this one bitch. I can't tell you to be a dad or I don't know if y'all want to take them, because look, y'all can get benefits and everything. Honestly, actually, better yet, shit, my daughters might qualify for SSI. But I'm not playing. I'm just like, I have to know you. I'm saying, if you feel like you want to take and foster my kids or some shit like that, this is me openly asking for help. I need help. I got a lot of shit going on right now. So, with that being said, if you want to openly foster my children or whatever, I have to know you. Yes, we have to go through the whole little process or whatever. But I still want to see my kids. I still want to provide for my kids and everything. But yeah, no, if you want, like I said, if you want to foster them, you're more than welcome. Y'all will get benefits. If you can file for food stamps. My daughter's qualified for SSI. It's a couple different things. My son's dad is dead, and he ain't coming back. In fact, I still gotta go today and spit on that nigga's grave and send the video to his mama. Anyway, yeah, I gotta after I do that shit. But my son's dad is dead. He's not coming back. So my son survived. He qualifies for survivor's benefits or whatever.
Y'all, I was so torn right here because it's like, on one hand, it she was trying to get help. Okay, now I can't even judge what's the right or the wrong way with this, because I'm still wanting to kind of get more into her background and really get a feel of her as a person. But we're just starting out right now, so y'all just kind of go on this journey with me. But, she says that the grandmothers are deadbeat. So basically, she's saying that the grandmothers really are not involved in the children's life, which honestly, that is not uncommon. I've definitely, seen that as well. Um, but I'm not saying that it is their responsibility either. But a grandmother would want to play a part in their grandchild's life. Um, I did not know that you could actually drop children off at the fire department. I was pretty much cringed by that, but this is what she's sharing as well. And I just think it's sad because it's almost like she's auctioning off her children. Like, it's like she's talking to complete strangers, desperate for someone to take her children for her. and basically letting strangers know, like, hey, my oldest son, he gets SSI, because his dad, has passed on. So you will have that benefit if you take him. You can get food stamps for my daughter, and it was just cringe, y'all. Like, I just, I just could not, like, not feel like something in me that just felt like, okay, this is just not normal. This does not feel right to me. But we're watching somebody's story, so let's continue.
It really don't matter, but because this is
how you're overwhelmed.
Because I love them, and this is hard. Like, this is killing me.
Yeah.
But it's for the better. Like, it's for me to get my life better and focus on my schooling, my career, my health. Number one, my health, so I don't die, because I can't do shit for them if I'm dead.
Yeah.
I can't stop stressing if I don't have help. So it's like, and it's like the dads didn't want to help me. They wanted to see me beat. I done lost everything so many times. But you know what? Like I said, I'm gonna come back for them. And as far as the whole, foster home thing, like, will it be open? Will I still be able to, like, see them, bring them gifts and stuff? Like,
what they'll do is they'll set up visitation for you, usually here at the agency or designation place, whatever the court orders, and you'll be able to see them weekly.
Okay, that's even better, that I can still see them.
Oh yeah, you'll get to see them,
and I can still provide for them, right?
Correct. You
Birthdays,
can bring gifts, and have all that. Because we're going to encourage that, because our goal is reunification, to get you the help that you need so you're not overwhelmed, and that you can, provide for your kids. I can tell that you care for them. You're just completely overwhelmed. I get that.
Yeah, because, like, it's only so much I can do. I mean, I just finished my last medical class today, so it's like I just have to study for my
What did you go to?
I'm in 2 different colleges right now.
Okay.
One is through OSU for my national medical assistant license. And then the other one, I should be finished next year with my bachelor's, and that's Full Sail University for my bachelor's degree in audio production and music recording with a concentration in communication.
Okay. And what college is that? Full Sail. Okay, but if you want to chill back here, I just gotta go interview the kids that talk to me. I know the little ones won't be able to, but...
And if you ask Alex, it'll be everything from dinosaurs to Siren Head. But you'll see what I'm talking about. They're intelligent.
Yeah, they seem like good kids.
They are into because they like because I told you we watch documentaries and stuff, so they are into a lot of Greek mythology, and like Indian myths and folklore. So
I like Greek mythology. I'm pretty good at it. So.
Yes. So sometimes, if you have to try to open the light or something, maybe talk about skinwalk, something, and I can say goodbye to them before I leave.
Oh yeah, I'll talk to the supervisor and see if they'll let you. I can't make that decision, but hopefully they'll let you. I'm not sure, but that'll be up to a supervisor.
And it's fine.
Because sometimes saying goodbye is harder for the kids.
And I made sure I told them that earlier. I made sure I told them that there's nothing wrong, and they didn't do anything wrong, and I don't want them to think that they're not enough, because they're everything I ever wanted. They're everything I ever wanted.
And you got to hug them and stuff already, yeah.
Yeah, and I told them I'm coming back for them. I don't care, y'all. I'm telling you, respectfully from my mouth, whatever hoops you guys throw at me, no matter how you guys try to spin it, I'm coming back for my kids, and I am going to get my kids.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I can't do anything for them if I can't help myself.
So right here, we see that I'm assuming she's speaking with a CPS worker wherever she dropped her children off at. Now we're seeing the emotion. Before, it was like she was just nonchalant, kind of cold, no connection to her children, no emotion. But now we're seeing the emotion. And I think maybe it's because, it's really setting in that she's literally about to walk away from her children. And we can clearly see she's very emotional. I'm just going to chalk it off as, in the beginning clips, that maybe she was just really, like, completely overwhelmed. And that's why we wasn't really just seeing the emotion behind it. I don't know what that looks like. I've never been in that situation, never felt compelled to want to give up my children in any capacity. But I'm just, going to kind of go off of here because, like I said, clearly we see the emotion. And, it is a good thing that, this lady is, letting her know, because she's asking good questions, the mother is, wanting to make sure she can still have visitation, wanting to make sure she can still provide. And letting it be known that, she does plan on getting her children back, which I really hope and pray she does do that. But what I am glad to hear is that at least she is trying to get her life together. I mean, she said that she's going to 2 different colleges. She shared the degrees that she's about to get. So those are pretty good fields, especially the nursing degree. She can definitely make a substantial living for her and her children with her being a single mom. I just really hope that, like I said, she really sticks to the plan. It's just very sad to me that she didn't have anyone outside of CPS that she could reach out to for help. It definitely seems like there is not a connection with her family, and that's what I really want to get into. I really want to get more insight to who she is and why, this was her only outlet. But yeah, this is very sad, very sad. So because I became so fascinated with this story, I really started searching, YouTube for anything else that I could find on this woman and just kind of get more of a rounded view of this story and what has transpired and why did it even lead up to this. And I came across this interview that I do want to share. I'm going to just speak on certain points of the interview, but I will make sure to give credit to the content creator who did the interview and also make sure to put her full video in the description box. I don't typically put things in the description box, but I will make sure that the videos that I use in this commentary, you will be able to find the full video in the description box, and I will also make sure to pin it in the comments to give the content creator credit and also so you guys can have more full context of the interviews in question. So let's go ahead and get into that.
Now, my question to you is, you said you had your first kid at 15,
Yep.
right? Okay, so tell me what happened. Tell me the story. So from the beginning.
Oh, goodness. So that one was pretty much like statutory rape from 15 to 18. What happened with that is at first I didn't know he was, as old as he was because he was hanging out with the rest of us little kids. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna lie, he was like really short and fat. So he was like, he fit in. Like he didn't look his age at all. But, he was, coming around and things like that. At one point we got close and then the liquor started, like he would drink with my mom. Like I said, my mom had, alcohol problems since I can't really actually remember a time when my mom was sober, but, she had those issues. It was kind of easy for him and, his friend come over, get my mom drunk, come into my room. What was your question? I'm sorry.
It's okay. So you had a kid with him, one child.
Yeah, that would be my oldest son. And then I don't think I made it to my 6 weeks, 6 weeks postpartum before he actually, physically actually held me down and, I got pregnant again. So like my 2 oldest, they're literally 11 months apart.
So now we're starting to unravel this story, and now we're starting to see who Amora Lexx is. Now, she starts out by saying that her mother is an alcoholic. She's never seen her mother sober since she can remember. And as a result of her mother being an alcoholic, her mother wasn't in the state of mind to really protect her as a child. And it left her vulnerable. It left her exposed to predators. And she's basically saying that her first child's baby father was pretty much a predator. He was 21. I think she said he was either 21 or 22 at the time. She's 15. And he is able to kind of worm his way into her household because, again, her mother's defenses are down because she's an alcoholic. And this gave an opportunity for someone to take advantage of this young lady. And she then says that she had a second child by this same man, but it seems like what she's saying right here, it was not her giving consent to it. It was more so she was forced. And again, this is awful because she's had 2 children with the same man at, I think she said they're like 11 months apart. So she's 15 with one child and 16 with a second.
After my second son was born, I was working 2 jobs while I was in high school. Mm-hmm. One was at this little sub shop and the other one was at this little this rink-a-dink skating rink. Oh, it was horrible. So I was working there and then I got, I graduated. Well, I actually graduated after I moved. So I was still, going to school after I moved because I was my own, I don't know what it's called, but it's like when you're your own person for your documentation or something.
From your parents, you're emancipated?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
So I was working 2 jobs on my 18th birthday. By that time I had saved up enough money. Plus I, at the same time, also had a settlement from a car accident that came in. So I used that money and I got my apartment for, I want to say a year and 3 months. I paid it up and then I ran. I just took my kids and I ran. And I'd be lying to say if he wasn't like around, because at some point, you know, during my during my little, you know, that 3 years or whatever, I did develop Stockholm's disease or syndrome. It's whatever it's called, but it's pretty much like where you fall in love with your abuser, because at some point it becomes the normal, you know? So I did get used to being abused.
Okay. And
I'm
then
sorry.
what? It's okay. So then what happened to him?
Nothing. We had an open case and then it was closed because they were like, okay, technically he is, because like in Ohio they have to be 5 years and older. So they were like, technically he's 5 years, but if they were like date by date, like date to date, he didn't exactly meet that 5 years. He was like
4 years.
4 years and some, yeah, which was dumb as fuck because at the end of the day he's still 21, 22, and I'm still 15. So I moved into my apartment when I was 18. Yeah, I was 18.
So, you know, I've read up on, you know, like Stockholm syndrome. That actually is a real thing. And it's just sad, you know, that, you know, basically she said that she was able to become emancipated. I'm glad she was able to finish high school. I can't imagine, you know, how hard that may have been, but she was able to finish high school. She was able to get her own apartment. She said she was working 2 jobs, you know, really trying to be a young mother actually to 2 children. And, you know, the fact that, you know, the court system basically was saying that they could not um, charge him with statutory, you know, that other word, I can't really say that on here, um, because they were being so technical with it. I think that's very interesting. And I'm pretty sure every state has certain rules that they go by when it comes to that. But, you know, so she's basically saying at the age of 18, she was a mother to 2 children. And now we're about to hear how she became pregnant with number 3.
So how did you have a third kid?
I did not meet him. Ooh, I didn't meet him until I think my oldest 2 were about 5 and 6.
Okay.
And I actually met him.
Who's him?
My youngest son's dad, Alex. So I met him. So the same week that I met him, I was actually like sexually assaulted. Like, and this had nothing to do with anybody that I knew. Like, this was actually a random attack. Like, literally somebody broke into my house and I was sexually assaulted on my couch. And this was the south side of Columbus. Just trifling. So anyway, that same week, you know, we had a mutual friend, and he's like, you know, I got something to ease your mind, because like I said, the stuff that was going on, and then it was kind of like around my finals, and it was so much that happened in that week, from me being sexually assaulted to, you know, my school saying I could go get counseling to, oh, you know, you missed your final exam, so now you're kicked out. So, you know, that did a lot to me mentally. I kind of just felt like I was worthless. Like, I don't know, I kind of just really didn't give a fuck about myself. So anyway, my friend was like, you know, I got something to ease your mind or whatever. You could try it if you want, you know, and that happened to be cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried it. It wasn't forced on me or nothing. I tried it. I was like I said, I didn't give a fuck about myself at that moment. So I was like, what else do I have to lose, you know? So I tried it. I didn't like it. So I want to say like a couple days later, you know, me and that same mutual friend, you know, we went to who then was my baby dad. Or not then, but, you know, before he became my baby dad. So we ended up buying it from him, and then we all ended up doing what we just bought together. So it was literally how I met him. So that was like red flag number 1.
Listening to this is really breaking my heart because unfortunately, this is not uncommon. And it's not just, you know, something that we see in Black families. We see this in other ethnicities with their families as well. But it's so sad because when you see a young woman at 15 years old who has seen her mother in the state of mind that her mother has been in, she has no protection, no type of foundation where she can, you know, in a sense, kind of like have an opportunity to be successful in life. It's like her life is kind of shaping her in a way where it looks like she could easily just repeat her mother's mistakes, repeat her mother's choices. And, you know, we clearly see because of the fact that her mother was in the condition she was. She wasn't really able to be a mother, right? It put her in a very vulnerable position. And we saw where she became a young mother at the age of 15. Predators are starting to take advantage of her and just the situation in general. We're seeing that she is pretty much just having to grow up, fast, because her mother's not in a position to help her with these children now. And so she pretty much emancipates herself and tries to live this adult life, and she's still a child. She's still a child literally and mentally. And now she's saying that she was sexually assaulted. Now she's revealing that she went down a spiral, just a downward spiral in trying drugs. And she's, again, making poor decisions when it comes to the men that she is interacting with. When you're young, you don't have a lot of common sense. Your brain is still developing. You don't have a lot of social intelligence. You're not able to always vet the good people from the bad people. You're going to make bad decisions. And when you don't have any type of support, no type of family around you that can properly guide you, it's like a disaster waiting to happen. And so, hindsight, she can look back and say, oh, that was the first red flag I should have saw, but she didn't see it. So she's basically saying that she had her third child by a drug dealer. So let's continue with the story.
But I don't know, I don't know if it was just because I was naive or just young and dumb or what, but I used to always think people could change and shit like that. So when...
How old were you when you had your third kid?
Oh, maybe 20? Maybe 21?
21.
I'm trying to... Yeah, it's so hard to
I know, but so after having 2 kids, I'm sure you knew it was hard to have kids, right? Because I have 1 kid and I know it's hard.
Yeah, it was hard.
So why would you have a third kid?
To be honest, I'm not going to lie. I don't know. To be honest, honestly, I think it was just me just living life. I was in love with somebody who I shouldn't have been in love with. And he's actually a birth control baby too, now that I think about it. But yeah, he's also...
What's a birth control baby?
Like when you get pregnant on birth control. So
okay.
But this time I didn't fuck myself up on how I did with my daughters. So this one was actually a natural... I don't know how I can explain it, because I don't know. He's my birth control baby, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I tell you the story about my twins.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just I don't know. It's just I don't know. Just I wasn't thinking. I was in love with somebody who I shouldn't have been in love with.
How old was he?
He was almost the same. He actually was the same age as me. He wasn't. So he was about 2 years older than me. So because I was 1996, he's 1995, 94.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Then not to mention around that time I was actually doing decently stable. I told you I have the medical field stuff under my belt. So I was doing pretty good at that time. I was, doing my little nursing gig. STNA gig. I'll say that. My little STNA gig, I was doing 16-hour shifts. And then also, like I said, I was young and dumb. So I listened to it when he said he would be around, he would help, and the stuff they tell you.
Honestly, when I look at the interviewer, the one who's given this interview, when I listen to how she speaks and I watch her body language, she just seems very disconnected with Amora. It's almost like she just wants the story. She just wants to get straight to the point. There's no empathy, nothing. It just seems like she's very nonchalant. And I don't know, it's kind of making me feel a certain way, because I'm like, are you just wanting to interview her for views only? Were you not intrigued, or, you wanted to get an understanding? Because I think you have 2 different types of interviewers. You have one interviewer that really wants to understand the person, right? And then you have the interviewer that just wants the story. And I feel like this is the type of interviewer that I'm watching. She just wants the story. So Amora goes on to tell us that she at least was trying to, be responsible, and she was on birth control, but she still ended up getting pregnant with her third child. And she refers to it as her birth control baby. I have definitely heard of many women saying that they were on different types of birth control and they still got pregnant. I actually had an aunt who had her tubes tied and she still got pregnant. So it's like, girl, what? But So at least I can say, she was trying to be responsible. She says she was 20 or 21 when she had her third child. And she basically, just expresses that she realizes that she was just young and dumb. And I think, again, we can all testify to that to some degree that, we made some really dumb decisions when we were young. And, when you're in love, you believe, especially when you're young, you believe what men say to you. And that's just pretty much what her situation was when it came to her third child.
So around the time that I got pregnant, like mind you, I said like I had tried the cocaine with him or whatever. So it turns out that was actually something he was already doing before me. That was just, my first go arounds. So when I got clean, like I stopped, at least I thought he stopped, So I'm not going to say that because I do really truly do think that he stopped for a while. I really do think that. So it's like he got clean, I got clean. I was doing good. I'm not gonna lie, he actually still wasn't shit then, so that's part of my fault too. Because it was a lot of red flags I should have seen. Anyway, he wasn't shit then, but I wasn't really looking at it. I was still, like I said, naive, trying to, look past it, trying to see the good.
And when did you guys split up?
So we had a rocky on and off relationship for like 3 years. So like, I don't know, it's like we didn't never like actually split up. We would do that on and off girlfriend, boyfriend thing, or, when we would break up or whatever, he would go do whatever he's doing. So I want to say like we never actually split up, but around the time I actually was really actually getting ready to walk away from him, like I actually found me true. I saw my worth. I just saw how much shit just wasn't okay. Yeah, it was like around the same time that he died. Like,
oh, he died.
Yeah, he's dead.
How'd he die?
An overdose. But with him, so it's been rumored that he was messing with like heroin and Fetty and stuff like that. But I don't know about that. I can say for sure I know he was the cocaine and the liquor and the females. That I do know for sure, the 3 Bs. But yeah, he died from a fentanyl overdose. From what I understand, he went to go buy a bag of coke. They gave him a whole bag of fentanyl.
Wow, that's pretty sad. Wow. I'm still trying to get an understanding of the ages because when I played the beginning clips, it seemed like she only had 2 children. She just mentioned she had an 11-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter. So I'm trying to figure out, because a lot of the viral clips or just the videos I started seeing were saying that she gave up 5 of her children. And I made sure to mention that in the beginning intro. But right when I started, showing the actual videos that she posted in the beginning of all of this, it seemed like she was only mentioning 2. So I'm trying to get a timeline, basically, is what I'm saying. So the guy that she's saying passed away from a fentanyl overdose, this was the 3rd child's father.
But at the same time, he also went and got it from the same girl that gave him the last bag that he overdosed 3 months prior while I was in Florida. Yeah.
Okay, so at that point you had 3 kids.
Yeah.
And he died when your son was 3?
No, he died before my son was, I think like shortly right after my son turned 1, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because...
And where were your parents during this time?
My dad is still like not around. So like
He's never been around?
No, he's like in and out. So my dad was like gang involved like long before I was born.
And your mom?
I don't really know what she did before I was born.
No, I'm saying where is she? Did she ever help you with the kids?
Yeah. I'm not gonna make it seem like, they didn't try. Like they tried. It's just, people got other shit going on. Like my mom now, she has her medical issues. She's getting older. Life is getting her as well. So it's like.
Okay. So you had 3 kids. You're 21 or 20.
Yeah. 20,
okay. So
21,
then you had twins after that?
Yeah. So my twins, I just had them 2 years ago.
With who?
The Kendro. Is that me in this damn chair?
Yes.
Goodness.
Okay, so you have 3 baby daddies?
Yeah, and 2 living. So 3 baby daddies,
Who's
2
Kendro?
living, which is the twins' dad.
Okay, who's he? Just some random guy from your neighborhood?
Do y'all see what I'm saying? It was just the way she was just like cutting her off, not really wanting her to kind of elaborate more on what she was trying to speak on. the way she just kind of rudely was like, "So who was your third baby daddy? Somebody from the neighborhood?" And you just look at her facial expressions, you listen to her tone. It's just really giving this girl really does not want to be bothered. All she cares about is just getting to the juicy parts so she can have her video. But she basically lets us know that unfortunately, the father of her third child passed away before her child even turned one. That's so sad. She says that her father pretty much has been in and out of her life. And her mother has tried to, play a part in some kind of way, but she was pretty much limited due to medical issues that prevented her from really being able to kind of be more hands on with the type of help that Amora basically needed. This is very sad. You can definitely see now why it is that Amora felt like her only option was the CPS route.
Pretty much. Now that I think about it, well, I
How
wouldn't
old is
say
he?
like my neighborhood. Actually, I met him doing rides because
You did Uber?
I used to Uber. I used to,
Okay. So why did you have more kids after you had 3 kids already?
So yeah, with that one, my twins, I was not trying to have kids.
So why did you?
Girl, let me tell you this. So what happened is I was on birth control, but I took a Plan B. I did not know that they canceled each other out. So by the time that I found out that I was pregnant with twins, they already had the heartbeats. Like,
I know, but you would know if you didn't get your period in a month.
no, that's the thing. I did not. Like, I was getting my period. Like, I literally had my period. So let me kind of run it back down. So like, me and him doing whatever we doing. He does that. Boom, I'm on birth control. I take the Plan B. So I have my period, but then I'm also having like these cramps that just won't go away. Like they're just bad. So, okay, at this point, I'm like, okay, it's probably my kidneys or something because I'm taking Tylenol. I'm doing whatever. I know I'm not bleeding no more. I'm off my period. So I go to the hospital and they're like, oh, well, you're pregnant. I wasn't listening because it's like, there's absolutely no fucking way because I just got off my period. I'm on birth control. And at that time, I thought I was smart and I took a Plan B. Turns out that the bleeding I had was my period, but the Plan B and the birth control, whatever chemicals is in them, they cancel each other out. So like you're not protected at all.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, so I'm trying to raise awareness about so many different things. Like literally, if you're on birth control, just don't take a Plan B. Like you're literally gonna fuck yourself up. I know from experience. But so anyway, they was like, oh well, you're pregnant.
How many weeks pregnant were you?
I was almost. So I had a cryptic pregnancy I had a cryptic pregnancy at the same time. So I was around 4 months. No, past the 4-week thingy. Because they already had heartbeats when I found out. So how I can explain it. So when I went to the hospital, they were measuring at like 6 weeks. But when I did the ultrasound, there was nothing there. Like literally, there was nothing there. So they was like, okay, for the first 2 appointments, they did it every week. So every week I've never had this many ultrasounds in one pregnancy. So 1 week, boom, we did the ultrasound. There was nothing there. The second week, the bag popped up. Nothing in the bag. So they was like, okay, well, that third week, we're just going to go ahead and give you that DNC. So we're at the DNC appointment. And this is like, I don't know if y'all know what a DNC is, but it's like, when they take if you have a miscarriage or they're aborting the baby, it's like they get all the baby stuff out, I guess. So,
the lining,
I think so. Yeah. Cause I've never had an abortion, but
Yeah.
So, so that was like, there was like, okay, well, we're going to do one more ultrasound. And I'm like, okay. I don't think nothing of it because, I'm like, I'm not about to be pregnant, so cool, shit, we can go ahead and do the ultrasound. Something popped up in the bag. And it was first, it just literally started out as the dot. And I was like, okay. So they were like, okay, well, for one, that's weird because you have one dot that's just now popping up, but your levels are way more than, what it should be for a dot. So they was like, okay, just, just come back next week. I come back, that one little dot turned into 2 full figures with heartbeats. So it was like, okay, how is that possible? So it was like, now we're trying to find out where were they? Why? Like, how are they hiding? Because if you see me, like, I'm not that big. So like literally don't know how it happened.
I wanted to make sure I left this whole story in because I thought that was pretty amazing. And I love watching like these type of stories where, because it seems so common now. And it's so crazy to me that you have a lot of women, for whatever reason, are, going through pretty much their whole pregnancy, not even realizing they were pregnant. I think it's the craziest thing, and the stories that they share to pretty much explain why it is that they just didn't know. Because from a medical standpoint, they tell us that it's not normal or it's uncommon for a woman to have what we may consider a menstrual cycle through pregnancy. But there are a lot of women who actually share their stories and their testimonies of them actually having what seemed to be like a actual menstrual cycle through their pregnancy. I have seen this so many times, and I'm just like, wow, that is crazy. But I think what blows my mind too is just the fact that women don't even be knowing that they're pregnant, and it's like they find out they're 5, 6 months pregnant. I've even seen stories where women literally didn't know they was pregnant until they started having labor pains. I was just like, oh my gosh. But I am just so glad that this doctor or the nurse tech, whoever it was, that advised that they do another ultrasound prior to her doing the DNC, because that would have been so unfortunate. But I just think that's amazing, that here it is. She's thinking this whole time that she wasn't pregnant, and lo and behold, they do one last ultrasound and discover that there's 2 babies. So that was pretty wild.
So at this time, because like I did actually, I don't know if it's still up there, but it probably should be. Like I even actually thought about adopting them out.
Okay, so that was my next question. Okay, so
Yeah.
at that point where you knew you were having twins, why didn't you try to find a family for them?
So I thought about it. I looked out. I mean, I reached out to a couple places. So one thing about like with adoption, they kept telling me that, oh, he has to sign off on it too. And I'm like, well, I don't see how he has to sign off on it, because I don't really talk. Like I really didn't talk to him about pregnancy. Like I pretty much rocked alone for real.
Why?
It was better than being around him.
So why did you have... Like, why did you did the same thing 3 times?
Nah, the first 2 times, that too was out of my control. But the last 2 pregnancies, like my twins and my youngest son, like that was obviously me. But the first 2, that was like out of my control. And that's why I grew up like also so angry, because you know how many times I told people about like that situation and never got help? Like literally didn't even get help from our law enforcement, like, or children's services. But
yeah, but you could have had an abortion with the twins.
Wow. This woman literally told her that she could have had an abortion with her twins, and said it with a straight face. Didn't have no issues with her saying that or suggesting that. I don't know, y'all. It's the conversation, like the conversation of abortion, on top of just the fact that this interviewer is so rude. Like, she's very rude. Like, I'm sorry, I was trying to be nice, but I mean, the way she literally just got completely irritated in mid-sentence. Like, girl, you chose to interview this woman. This woman didn't beat down your door asking you to interview her. And it's like you are literally pulling hair at this point, because you are so irritated, you are so annoyed. Like, you're asking her questions and she's trying to answer you, and you're getting frustrated at her responses. She's giving you her truth. She's telling you what happened, why she did the thing she did. It may not make sense to you, but this is her reality. This is why she did what she did, and what frame of mind she was in at the time she made those decisions. And it's like, why are you sitting here trying to make this woman feel worse than I'm sure she already feels? It's like, I just don't feel any type of humanity coming from this interviewer. There's no compassion. There's no empathy. It's like she really don't even care to talk to this woman. It's just like, y'all, I don't have much. I'm just going to kind of, at this point, just kind of fast forward through it. There was another interview that she did do that I wanted to kind of explore further. But I'm just going to kind of fast forward through the rest of this and just see if there's any importance that I want to take away from, to add to this commentary. But I just wish that the interviewer did not display this type of just attitude, because it was just not necessary at all.
No. I still have legal custody of all my kids. So a lot of people didn't see what happened after the camera stopped rolling.
Okay.
So after the camera stopped rolling, they were like, so, because you only saw just that video.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one where I was actually like, that was one of the videos. Well, that was the one video, the very first one. Mm-hmm. I think I was like live for like 2 hours, like trying to get people to help me find the dads. Then I went live again begging, like, hey, we're here at the building if anybody wants to step up and, help me with them, and then there's another one that I think that was the main one that went viral, where I was actually at the CPS office, doing that. But when I did that, like, I just really wanted some documentation.
But who took them?
I did.
No, but who took them from you? Who's the families that have your kids?
Oh, so I do know these people. I've known them. Well, I've known one of them since 6th grade, I think.
They saw you on live and they volunteered, or what? How did that happen?
So the first 2 lives they didn't see, but they seen it like after like all the controversy, and they reached out. And I'm not gonna lie, because like you know how after you stop talking to somebody for so long, you kind of just forget about them.
Mm-hmm.
So like around the time when I was like searching and looking for people, like I had hit so many people up before all the viralness or whatever, but these are people I didn't even think about. So it's like once they like stepped forward, like, hey, we saw the videos, like, where are they? What do we got to do? So like we jumped on that so quick. Like I dropped them off Friday. By Sunday.
How many kids do they have? They all together? Your kids are all together?
No, I couldn't find nobody who would take them all at once.
Okay, so how does it work? How is it working right now with the kids?
So it's 3 households involved.
Okay. One has the twins.
One has the twins. One has my youngest son.
How old is your youngest son?
He's 5. He'll be 6 this year.
Okay.
And then the oldest 2 boys are together. Because at first I thought the oldest 3 were going to be together, and then the twins were going to be together, but yeah, that wasn't gonna be able to happen. So it's 3 households involved. They're no more than 10 to 15 minutes away from.
Okay, so it sounds like she's saying that she still has custody of her children, but I guess they have temporary custody right now. So her 5 children are basically dispersed in 3 different families. Her twins is in one family, or with one family. Her youngest son is with another family, and her 2 oldest is with another family. And she said that they are 10 to 15 minutes apart from each other and from where she currently resides.
What did you tell your kids?
Oh, this is the one girl you're about to give me. Hold on.
It's okay. Take your time.
See, it's like the other stuff I can get through and laugh at and, just try to keep going, but that one. Pretty much. So where they're all placed, they not only did they have like a choice in where they place, like, with the options that we did have. I asked them if they wanted to go here, if they felt comfortable or whatever. But I told them, I didn't lie to them. I told them exactly, what it was. Like, y'all didn't do anything wrong. You guys are everything that I wanted and more. And I told them, no matter what you see or hear, don't believe it, because I am coming back for you guys. And I said, even I'm sorry.
It's okay. Do you have a napkin you can bring, or a tissue?
Y'all, this is crazy to me, because when I look at this interviewer, the way she's looking, it's almost like she's disgusted by the fact that this woman is showing emotion. And it's almost like she's judging her by making it seem like, oh, it's really giving, let me just say this, it's really giving, she doesn't believe the emotions that's coming from this woman. She is so disconnected from this interview. It's very hard to watch, but I'm only using this as a source of reference because, I'm interested in what Amora has to say. And I just feel that for this woman to show the emotion she's showing, to me, obviously, is coming from a genuine place. You may not understand her decisions. You may not agree with why she did what she did, but obviously this woman is being very raw. She doesn't seem to me like she's lying. It doesn't seem to me that she's trying to justify why she made the decision she's made. I haven't seen that thus far, just watching this. I really do believe that she wishes that she could have done things differently to where she did not have to result in giving her children away. This is not what I'm witnessing. I know a lot of people had their own opinions on this. What I'm witnessing from a human to human, I just don't see this woman being able to speak in the way she's been speaking, showing the emotion she's been showing, and determine that this woman was being selfish and didn't care about her children. I think this woman was put in a very, and of course, I'm not going to sit here and say that she had choices that she could have made differently, of course, but she made the choices that she made, and based off of what she had to go off of, based off of the help she had, the resources, the parental guidance, I just feel like she did all that she knew. And it's like, who am I to judge that? But even if we don't agree with a person's decisions and their choices, it doesn't mean that you have to dehumanize them and make them feel unworthy or make them feel worthless or make them feel as if they're not a human being. And I just feel like just this interviewer's composure when this woman literally is breaking down, trying to express how she tried to talk to her children about why she was having to give them away, for her to have the expression on her face as if she was just so unattached and didn't believe her tears, it was just kind of heartless, to be honest.
So anyway, I told them, like, no matter what, like, what's going on when I go to sleep and when I wake up, you guys are the first thing I'm thinking of, and that even though it hurts and it's just for a little while, thank you. Even though that is just for a little while, I'm doing this to better us. Like, I'm gonna give them the life they deserve. You know, I'm gonna give them a better life. So,
But your mom couldn't help you with the twins?
no. So we were already with my mom because our last landlord, so like my house was like broken into. So my last landlord was like, oh, well, who's to say that, you know, you didn't do that? And I'm like, well, I've been here for almost 2 years. You know, you just said it. I've been here for almost 2 years. It wasn't the problem. So he stole my deposit for that little situation. So I couldn't move into the new house. So I ended up living with my mom. So we were with my mom since last September up until this February of this year. So not only have we already been with her in her 2-bedroom apartment, so it's me, 5 kids, and a dog, and a big ass lizard. So not only were we there in her 2-bedroom apartment, you know, while I got back on our feet, well, you know, was getting us back on our feet and stuff. You know, my mom also just had a total hysterectomy. So that medically wise, like I was saying, like she can't do it right now. You know, she just had all her shit removed.
So you're living with your mom right now?
No, well, right now, at least until the 31st, I still have a home. At least until the 31st, I have to be out. And then...
Where are you going to go?
I'll figure it out.
What did your kids say when they left?
They weren't mad because they understood, because I've gone through so much with them. And that's why, like, yeah, it hurts, but I'd rather take this risk because, like, I didn't sleep. I've been homeless with my kids before. Like, you know, when I was 17, when I was 18, I've been homeless with my kids and shit like that. Like,
but I heard you say you can get money from like the debt survivor thing, and that your daughters are
that's what I
Social
thought.
Security and all that stuff. So what happened to that money?
So I thought they were eligible because, you know, like my daughters are premature, so you get like caseworkers and things like that for premature babies. So they were saying this and that. So the whole time I've been waiting on them to do their paperwork and stuff. They're like, oh, well, technically, you know, they're delayed, but they're not like, you know, like delayed. You know, they just do everything a little bit, you know, slower, like not in the right time frame because, you know. But anyway, they're like, oh, well, they're not actually like all the way disabled or anything. And then my son, he can get survivor's benefits, but they're saying that mom has to sign off on it, but his mom doesn't like me, or because it's not his mom, but his grandma, you know, which is the dad's mom. But she doesn't like me, so she's already said that she's not going to sign off on it because I've tried to do it before. I've tried to call and they said, well, you know, she has got to sign for it. I haven't talked to this woman in like, almost 5 years? Like, yeah. So it's like, I try to get survivor's benefits for him. She's not going to do anything with that. I didn't try cash assistance. They don't do anything with that. Like I said, we've been with our state hearing coming up. We've been going back and forth since September. And it's just, yeah, I'm just, me and the state, me and the welfare office, like.
To get money so you can have your kids?
No, like, just like, so like, okay, if you can't work, you have to at least be doing something. You have to be working or going to school. Like, you have to see that you're actually trying, which I don't have a problem with trying. You know, that's all I've been trying to do is try. So like, you know, with me being in school, I'm like, well, you know, obviously can't work because y'all keep fucking up my, you know, my childcare. So they'll give you like a monthly allowance or whatever while you can, you know, focus on school and things like that. So I tried doing that, and it's just been back and forth. They'll be like, oh, well, you have to reapply. And I'm like, well, why do I have to reapply again? Because nothing's happened the first time I applied.
So I can appreciate Amora like really giving a detailed explanation of all of the many ways she has been trying to get help by the state. And when I was looking in the comments under this particular video that I'm using, I was seeing mixed reviews. I mean, that's pretty common, but I was just kind of taken back because some of the people were saying that they felt like she was giving excuses. I don't feel this is her giving excuses. She's trying to explain how she's been trying to gather resources. She's been trying to go through the state to get, you know, assistance. You know, she's explaining that she thought that she was going to get some type of financial benefit from her twins being delayed or being premature, and they're basically telling her that you don't qualify because they're not as delayed to get that benefit. Then she's saying that, you know, she thought she was going to get a survivor's benefit because one of her son's father passed away, and she's not able to get that benefit because the father of the child that passed away's mother doesn't like her and is not going to cooperate in signing it off so she can get that benefit. You know, she's trying to explain that she's been applying. She's been showing the state that she is trying to make an effort by going to school, but they keep giving her childcare for a certain period of time, then they remove the children, and it's just been a back and forth. So when I listen to this, I'm not hearing it as, oh, she's just giving an excuse. No, she's explaining the different processes she's been going through to try to get consistent assistance through the state, and she's been given the runaround basically. So as far as this particular interview, I am going to end it here. I will say the interviewer did allow her to give her Cash App so people could send her, you know, donations. But she basically, you know, allowed her to give like last words. And Amora basically, you know, wanted to advise women to just make better choices than she did. You know, make sure you're more stable. Make sure you are really, you know, paying attention to the men that you are with, and just be mindful of who you're laying down with and having children by. But, you know, she just, you know, felt like when it comes to the decision that she made, she felt like that was the best decision for her and her children. Regardless if on the outside it looks like, you know, her giving her children away was a bad thing. You know, she just basically expressed that, you know, the fact that they had been homeless multiple times, and just her seeing that she was putting her children in just an unhealthy situation, she just felt like that wasn't doing the best that she could. And so she just kind of felt like, you know, regardless of what she did, no matter how she looked at it, it was going to be a hard choice she was going to have to make. And she just felt like her giving her children away was the better option for her and for them. But there was a more recent interview that was done, and I just want to kind of touch on that and just see if we get any additional information from Amora in this particular situation.
What was going on that day for you to turn on your phone and let the world know what was happening?
Because it was, okay, to start off, let me just clarify like one thing. I will never be tired of being a mom. That wasn't the issue. Not being able to provide for them the way that I consider being a good mom. Like, I didn't have the resources. I was working 2 jobs, like I was doing the utmost, but it came time to where I'm doing all of this. I'm not getting ahead. I'm not really spending any time with the kids because I'm always trying to make more money. And then it really just got to a point to where like it actually started to fall on my health. Like I actually started having many heart attacks and just things like that. So it was like, I tried to hold on to being a single mom, trying to tackle it all and stuff like that until it literally almost killed me. Like my heart almost exploded. So it's either, and that's why in the video I was telling her, it's like, okay, I can either die and they not have shit, or I can take this leap, figure some shit out, and go back for them when everything is good and dandy. I mean, that's literally what I was left with. So I have a strained relationship with like my dad's side of the family. No connection whatsoever to my mom's side from me, like me, my sisters, or my brothers. No connection because they trifling as fuck. That whole side of the family does incest, and my mom's gone through a lot of things behind that. So she's...
You said incest?
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah.
Like on my mom's side of the family, that's where most of the drugs and prostitution and stuff come from. So if they're not selling themselves or each other or the kids, they're doing some fucked up shit. when my mother's mom died, when we went to go see her for the first time, that's when we met my grandma, which was on her deathbed. Our cousin, I was 14 at the time, and he slid in our inbox. He was trying to fuck us. My mom took us from that, like, we've never seen them since, and that was our first time. And she just wanted us to see her mom before she died.
Wow. So she put a lot out here right here. This is like kind of early on in the interview. So she gives us more of her family dynamic, which makes sense as to why her mother was always an alcoholic. So basically she said that her family on her mother's side, there was no incestual relationships going on. And she said at the age of 14, her uncle tried to have sex with her. So when you look at, here it is, this girl is being raised by her mother who has always been pretty much drunk, never seen her sober. This was according to her. It explains why this was the condition of her mother, because there's no telling what all her mother went through as a child. And see, this is what I be speaking about, regarding generational curses. When you go through things and you are not properly getting healed from it, you're not getting the therapy that you need to overcome and heal from those things, you will psychologically repeat it. Sometimes you can do it intentionally, sometimes you can do it unintentionally, but you have to break those cycles. Otherwise, it's going to continue through your bloodline. And this really explains why her mother was an alcoholic. I really believe her mother went through some things that she did not know how to overcome. And a lot of reasons why people, become drug addicts or alcoholics is because they're trying to self-medicate, because there's a lot mentally that they're trying to kind of block out and don't want to remember, or they're trying to suppress these memories to escape it. I'm not saying this is the reason behind all alcoholics or drug addicts, but a lot of times this is a factor as to why you see people who turn to drugs and alcohol. This is why. But yeah, this is pretty crazy, y'all.
It's an older cousin?
I don't know how old he is. Yep.
Wow.
So I don't know anybody on my mom's side of the family. I have a strained relationship with my dad's side of the family. Altogether, I have 26 brothers. Well, it's 26 of us. But I only know... I'm sorry. Listen.
Yeah, take your time, cause.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you gotta count them. Shoo.
We like 14 maybe. Oh. So I don't know the other ones, and the other ones like I've heard of. I don't know what they look like. I just know their names.
How many? Do you have any immediate brothers and sisters? From mom and dad.
2 sisters and 2 brothers.
Are they older than you or are they younger than you?
I have a twin sister.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a twin sister, 1 older sister, and then 2 older brothers. But one of my older brothers, it's a little weird. He's older than me, but it's like I helped raise him because he has Down syndrome. So, yeah, that's my baby.
Oh, wow. See, I was not expecting to hear that as a response. So basically, she's saying that, I'm assuming from her father, there are 26 siblings total. And she knows 14 of the 26. And as far as her immediate siblings, between her father and her mother, there's 4 of them. And she does have a twin sister. Wow. 26. That is insane. And we had already heard that she said that her relationship with her father was strained. He was always in and out and didn't really have a solid relationship. And the fact that he had 26 children, that kind of explains it too.
Can you explain as far as how that worked out, as far as, getting pregnant, having your first child, and then of course getting pregnant again? What was were y'all going out? Were y'all dating? What was the dynamic of y'all's relationship?
So the first time, I'm sorry.
No, please, again, take your time, please.
The first time anything sexual happened or whatever, it was like maybe 3-4 days since I've eaten. Well, me and my brother, he said that if he'll pretty much, and that's why I be telling people, like, obviously looking back, I know I'm a victim.
Hindsight is always 20.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck how it looks. I'm going to tell my truth regardless. So like, until it actually was that point, because he did hold me down. Like, I remember vividly one good time where he held me down because he told me I was going to do it whether I liked it or not. I remember that. But obviously, the very first time I didn't really like fully understand, but I did open that door because he said, if you do this, I'll get you a personal pizza or whatever. So yeah, I did.
Wow.
And it's so embarrassing because it's like most females, they lose their virginity or whatever, at prom or whatever. I'm in the hood. A fucked up house, roaches running around for a fucking pizza that I was so disgusted to eat, I still didn't eat afterwards.
See, when I was watching the first interview that took place a little over 5 months ago, she didn't know how to interview in a way where she was able to pull this type of information, because she was just straight to like whatever she was trying to get to in her interview. And as I'm watching Amora recount her first time, because you would not have known that this was actually what was going on unless you knew how to pull these questions. And for her to share that her and her siblings were hungry and they had not ate, I believe she said for 34 days, they had not ate. And again, her mother was an alcoholic, so her mother was not in the state of mind to know how to be a mother to her children. And as I've stated before, not only did she leave her children in very vulnerable situations, but she neglected them to the point where they hadn't ate for over a month. And here it is, you have this predator coming in, taking advantage of the situation. And it's just the fact that even as she's telling her truth, she's telling her story, for her to say she feels embarrassed as if it was her fault, my heart really goes out to her, because I get that her sharing what she went through may be embarrassing, but at the same time, it's like you don't have to feel embarrassed for something that you did not play a part in. You were a baby and you was literally taken advantage of by a grown man who should have known better, who should not have done that. And this is very sad because you can see, even I think she may be 28, 29 right now. I don't know for sure, but I think she's around that age. The fact that she's still shedding those tears, it shows that she's still going through her healing process. And I just commend her. I hadn't even gotten to like the middle part of this interview, but my heart goes out to her, and I just commend her for having the courage and the boldness to tell her story.
I think, like, I was always bleeding, like, throughout my pregnancy. I mean, for the most part, it was cool. Like, there wasn't really a lot of food, so I was hungry a lot of my pregnancy. Now, I'm not going to make it seem like he did a lot, like, during my pregnancy, but he did put his hands on me a couple times during my pregnancy. For the most part, it was just really me, just trying to push through every fucking day. That fucking house, being around him, couldn't get the fuck away from him for a while. It was just too much. Like, I just wanted to fucking die, but I kept going. And I was at home with my mom. And then I think sometime after my second son was born, I left home. Not even gonna lie, the house we was in, it was just a lot of roaches and bed bugs. I was getting bit, the babies was getting bit, so I did leave and I did go to his mom's house, and that wasn't no better.
So she's saying that when she was pregnant with her first child at 15, she was still living at home with her mother, but she was also going hungry still a lot during her pregnancy, and the father of this child was also physically abusing her as well. So this is what she's encountering at the age of 15. She's dealing with a predator. She's being physically abused. She's going through a pregnancy. She's not able to eat on a regular basis. And on top of that, she said that she was living in a house with roaches and bed bugs. Wow.
So was the second child that was conceived, was that consensual? Or was...
No, that was when he forced himself on me. I was still in my I almost said 6 months. I was still in my 6-week trial when I got pregnant again. So no, it wasn't.
So neither child was It was a pleasant experience, right?
No, like, remember I did say, like, you know, I opened the door because like I said, the whole pizza, that whole shit. I opened that door, but when I want to say like maybe 2 times of doing that, like the first and the second time, I just couldn't do it no more. From then, I couldn't get rid of him. So when I would start locking my door, he would start coming through my window. So yeah.
The second baby father.
Yeah.
How does that come about? Because now you have 2 children. You said you left home.
Yeah, so I left home. I think I was single and celibate for 2 years before I met him. So around the time I met him, I had actually got sexually assaulted. This was back in 2017. I was living in south side of Columbus. Somebody had broken into the house and I was sexually assaulted on my couch. Which I believe that should be public record. So what I believe I've said this in another interview before, but that is just generally how I feel as far as like the decisions, like things that I've gone through. Like me, I'm trying to heal from me, but I'm healing in the wrong way. You know, I turn to strangers, who then turn to drugs, then turn to somebody who I barely know. So like I take my accountability, and I feel like I failed my kids before I conceived them because I chose who their dads was, if that makes sense.
I totally appreciate what she said right here because it was so vulnerable, but yet it was so profound for her to say that she felt as if she failed her children before they were even born because of the men that she chose to, you know, be their father. And for her to be at a place right now where she can reflect and really look at the choices that she made and to be able to say, you know what, this is the part that I played in it, and I want to take full accountability for my part. That within itself speaks to maturity, and it will also help her down the road to really fully recover from the things that she has gone through, because her beginnings seemed to be one of where it was almost like the cards were kind of playing against her, right? Just the environment that she grew up in, not really having a stable father, not having a mother who was fully present or capable of mothering and being there to protect. It seemed like her environment pretty much produced these type of choices for her to be in this type of outcome. But I'm not to excuse that, because I know that there are a lot of people who have had, you know, tragic upbringings, but yet they were able to turn their life around. And I do feel that there is hope for this young lady as well. And I really do hope and pray that she is able to fully heal, fully just move forward in her life where she can be that mother to her children that I truly believe she desires to be. But, you know, the fact that she's able to reflect and look at how certain things that she experienced, even like with the sexual assault that she went through, and how that within itself caused her to get into drugs and just kind of come to a place within herself where she just wanted to give up on life. I can see how those type of experiences can alter, you know, a person's set path in a way, because you're really trying to figure out, how am I going to get back up? How am I going to recover from this situation that is so detrimental to anyone who's ever gone through that? It's a lot to break through that, you know, and to see her here speaking on this and, you know, just being so transparent with her story, I know that it can definitely help so many women out here that has gone through these similar things. Because again, as tragic and as awful her story is, there are so many women, unfortunately, that has this same story. So yeah.
Did he also abuse you as well?
He didn't start off that way. It was more so like, so we were together on and off for 3 years. And then by, I want to say like that second year, when we were more inconsistent, that's when the abuse started. When he went to jail, I'm trying to think, because he's been to jail a couple times while we were together. But I think for me, if I'm not, well, he's only been to jail once for me in the 3 years that we were together. But he was in and out for other things. But I want to say like that second year when we were more consistent, that's when the abuse started. But it didn't start out that way. Not at all.
Right.
I'd be lying if I didn't say I thought about selling. If I lied and say, shit, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if it didn't cross my mind.
Well, so what? Why didn't you do it? Just
Because I've done it before and I didn't like it. My body's already been mutilated and abused before in a way I didn't like. I want to be better for my daughters. So it's like, even though they're young now, like, don't get me wrong, they'll probably grow up and see and understand this. But they won't be looking like me. They won't be sounding like me. I'm taking all the risks so they don't have to. That's just, not saying that this is the risk I wanted to take, not the light I wanted to be in, but it is what it is.
So she did share that not only was her first baby father abusive to her, physically abusive, but the third baby father was also physically abusive as well. And I am skipping around because I don't want to play their full interview. So again, I'm going to leave the full video in the description of this interview as well if you want to watch it in its entirety. But the interviewer asked her in this second clip, have you ever considered, selling your body for money to prevent you from, giving your children up? And she's basically saying, I did consider it. And he's asking her, well, what was it that made you not go there? And I love her rawness and her transparency. And it's her basically saying that, I want my children to be better than me. I want it to be a better example to my girls. I'm sure she wanted to be a better example for her children as a whole, but she has 3 boys and 2 girls. And I think because she has girls, it really just hit a little different because she didn't want her daughters to see her in any kind of light doing that. And I also thought it was real too because she said that, the fact that I've already know what it's like to have my body abused from such a young age, and just the experiences, the very negative experiences she has gone through since that first experience she had at 15 and her being sexually assaulted and just all of these different things. It's like she did not want to continue the abuse because not only are you at this point given permission for someone to use your body, but you are willingly allowing it to be done to you. That's a whole nother type of abuse because now it's self-inflicted, right? And so I really appreciate her going here because, again, you can come to a place of desperation. We all have that ability to come to a place of desperation where you're willing to just do whatever. But there has to be something within you. There has to be integrity. There has to be just a sense of pride, a sense of fight, whatever it is that is still keeping you sane, keeping you from unraveling completely, like losing your mind, losing control. We all have that thing that will keep us from going further into that hole that would swallow us up, right? But again, there has to be a fight. There has to be something within you that will keep you from going there. And, I just appreciate, again, her sharing this because this is such a real conversation. And I think a lot of times people are afraid to admit their truth.
So whether you're a single mom, dad, grandparent, auntie, uncle, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to say, I'm a little over fucking whelmed. I need help. Damn, I would have to go get my other phone without obviously doxing names and shit. There's a lady in my inbox right now. I just stopped her from baby. Yeah, that part. A lot of people don't understand and they're like, well, I don't know why she's, and another part of my, me doing my interview, since I've started, everybody who did some foul, fucked up shit to me, like I said, I don't care if my truth also paints me in a bad light, but it's my truth, They're trying to get me to shut up. Especially, nigga, me from 15 to 18, you will never ever make me shut the fuck up ever. Not even a cease and desist letter can make me shut the fuck up. Shit, my legal system failed me. Everybody, when I was younger, like, I actually had a letter I wrote to one of the teachers at school telling her what I was going through. I done told so many fucking people, nobody did anything. So it was like, shit, I'm gonna make sure that it's okay for people to know, regardless of how many people come and talk shit about you. If the people who are supposed to protect you, if they don't listen, Make somebody else listen. Make the world listen. Don't ever let nobody make you shut up. And it's okay to not be okay. Go seek that fucking help. Because granted, I do look like the devil in everybody else's eyes, but they don't understand. Where my kids are right now, they're thriving as kids. They can afford to just be kids.
And what do you say to those who question you as a mother, like your mothering, your motherhood, your love for your children? Those who question, like, because you want a better life for them, you're willing to say, I'm going to give them up and come back and get them later. Some people say, hey, you should be able to stick through the mud with them and go through hell with them. Figure it out.
A lot of people don't know, I've already slept in abandoned houses with my kids. I've already been in homeless shelters. The first time my kid ever seen anything drug related was at a homeless shelter when the girl stuck that shit in her arm, was passed out. They've seen people, like, they don't need to see none of that shit no more. So before I drag my kids right back through that, you damn right I'm gonna place them where they can be somewhere where they don't have to worry about that. So as far as people who say anything like about my mothering, it takes a true mother to do some shit like that, to give her kids a chance that she couldn't give them. It takes a real mother to actually sit there and say, you know what, hey, because that's honestly, and it's what pisses me off, the bad part, right, so bad. That's the scenario, and it's been like this for eons, millions of years, generations. The narrative of a Black struggling mother. Why does it always have to be like that? So, okay, cool, yeah, I'm struggling, but I'm not always gonna be struggling for long. Because right now, my kids are where they're thriving. I'm where, I can try to go and get the multiple streams of income. It's not impossible, but it's going to be hard. And by the time I'm 35, maybe 40, I'm 27 now, I want to have 6 figures and have residual income. I'm not saying my kids have to be gone the entire time until I get that, but I'm saying as of right now, I don't have a home to go to when I go back home. I'm crashing with other people. I don't have a car. The car I'm driving with, I can get pulled over at any time and go to jail because the car's not mine, it ain't got tags. Why would I have my kids while I'm trying to figure this shit out?
I mean, there was so much more to this. I, again, didn't want to share everything, but, some people will look at this as her being selfish. Some people would look at this as her being selfless. I just, as hard as this situation is to hear, and, me just being grateful that I've never had to be put in this situation with my children, I really do try to kind of remove myself from the equation and not make the mistake in judging her for the decision that she made. Obviously, she truly felt that she was doing the best that she knew she could do in that given time. And if she felt that with her going through the struggling and being put in situations with her children that were not safe, because she just shared that, she's been homeless with her children. She's been in shelters with her children where her children are seeing things that they shouldn't have to see. It kind of leaves you at a point of, like, really having to ask yourself the question, what more could we expect her to do? If you don't have any resources, what do you do? If you don't have the family support, what do you do? If you're not financially stable and you don't have the assistance to help you become financially stable, as far as how the state is supposed to provide these type of resources to women like this, what do you do? And so I listened to everything. I took everything into consideration. And, I just came to the conclusion that I just don't feel I'm in a position to judge this woman, to say that she did something awful. You know what I mean? Granted, the foster care system is not the best. You can luck up and find really good parents in the foster care system that will take care of your children and love them as if they were their biological children. But there are some people who should not be allowed to foster children because there are a lot of horrific things that do go on in the foster care system. And that's just me being 100% real with y'all. I don't know, y'all. I just know, for me, I'm going to pray that this woman is able to really get on her feet and get her children. And I just hope going forward she's able to really just heal from everything, because as much as I know that there is so much more she hasn't said, there's so much to unravel with her, because there's a lot that she's gone through, a lot of trauma, and I just really feel bad for her. But y'all can definitely watch these 2 interviews in its entirety. Again, I will have them linked in the description box, and I will also pin it in the comments below. Please also let me know in the comments if you enjoy this video. There are a lot of different stories that I've been seeing, and I just want to get a feel if y'all are appreciating these type of commentaries. It's a little different, but I do want to venture out and kind of add more type of commentary to this channel. So if there's also any stories, anything that you've been listening to or paying attention to that you would like for me to commentate, it doesn't have to be like reality TV or anything like that. Just anything that you are intrigued about, that you would like for me to take a look at and just kind of give my opinion and my commentary on it. Drop it in the comment section below as well. But I will see you guys in the next video. It's OneLove, and I'm out.